Welcome back to Painters Guild. I'm Will Friedle, and we are here once again with the unbelievably talented and my teacher once again for this episode, Elizabeth Beckley. So we're going to jump right back into it. If you remember last episode, we were working on John the Bard from Wanderer.
From Wander,
from Wander, which is the new game that is coming out. Hopefully, we're doing the Kickstarter campaign, and we're thinking like a year.
Yeah, probably for production, because it's got to go to China and, be made. That's why we're going to Kickstarter.
Which is great.
Yeah.
So the game's coming up, but the minis are available now, so you can buy these now, and it's Red Panda.
RedPandaMiniatures.com.
So you can buy them and paint along with exactly what we're doing. So we worked the entire last episode, on just the banjo. This is how you know that we're really getting there, which is great. So what exactly are we going to be doing this week?
What we're going to do is I'm going to take this color. It's a little bit brighter than our base coat. What we're going to do is we're going to paint thin layers. So we're working our way up with our highlight. So what we're going to do is we're going to want to concentrate wherever there would be a highlight, but paint and leave some of this darker base color as our shadow. So especially like down here, and maybe down by his collar, you're going to want to leave some of that in shadow. So I'm just going to throw the paint on here so you can see. It's a thin layer. It's going to dry a little bit darker, but I'm not going to paint all the way to the bottom. Basically, we're just trying to establish some volume. We can do his head, and his tail needs to be painted, and his tiny little toes.
Head, tail, tiny little toes. So am I doing this right? I have no idea.
Let me see. It looks like it from here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And we want it, but paint everything, but not too much?
Yep. Well, it's a thin layer, so when you thin down your paints, we're applying that layer of paint, and then we're going to keep working up, but in smaller and smaller areas.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, we're working up towards our highlight.
Stages, so we're doing stages.
Right, we're doing layers.
And we want both sides, obviously.
Yes. And the thing is, this is a great piece because he doesn't have to be perfectly transitioned, so if it's a little rough.
Because he can be a little mottled because he's a lizard.
Because we're going to make a lot of dots all over him, so it's going to be rough anyway. So it kind of lends itself.
Now, do you want to bring it all the way down to the collar?
So
if you can,
I brought it almost all the way down, but you want to leave a little bit of a line. Yeah, and so when you do your second layer of paint there, you're not going to go all the way down. You're going to go just a little bit further up.
And do we want to kind of edge again in certain places?
Yeah, you can.
Like his little, like the top of his.
I did some edging on like his mouth.
Oh, we want to get the crotchal area too, right? Yeah. Right? But am I right?
Yeah, a little bit right there. And I got his little toes too.
What?
Nothing. You're so slow.
Wow. Wow. How's that look so far?
Yeah, there you go. So you have some hard edges here. So you can see here. So when you have the paint's a little bit watered down, and what you can do is you can just kind of go in there and take some of those hard edges off. Yeah, but it looks like it was only on the tail. So I think you're good. Everything else looks pretty good.
You kind of ruined it because I was going for a hard edge tail, but whatever.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of color mixing. So we're going to take this color. I should slide it so we can see the palette. Okay. So we're going to take this color, and we're going to throw it over here with this other color we've dropped down that's a little brighter, so this brighter green.
And you're making kind of a third color then?
I'm making a third color. So this is how I work usually, is I'll go between the two colors, and I'll make the color here, so it's like, it's steps.
Mine's broken, because I think, okay.
Yours is broken?
No, I think I broke the paint. So if we go like that, like that? Yeah.
And what we're going to do is we're going to concentrate in a smaller area, and we're going to put that thin layer of paint down.
On a smaller, now how do you know which areas to pick?
Okay, so this is a question of your light source.
Okay.
So when you're thinking about your light source, normally the best one is just up top. So if you're like, this is the sun, right? And so your light source is coming down from the top here. You can get a little fancy with the light sources, like, you know, put it on the side or something, but
Or there's
normally...
2 moons like on Endor.
Right, exactly. Well then...
Actually, Endor only had 1 moon. Whatever. I know what you meant.
But, so you're gonna have the one light source.
I'm sorry, am I throwing you? Did you want me to blow on your mini?
No.
No, you good? Okay.
So you have the one light source, and you're gonna think about that.
Okay.
A lot of times I tell people when they're just starting out, the best thing to do is, it's called zenithal priming.
Zenithal?
Zenithal priming.
Okay.
So what you do is you would paint your whole miniature, you would prime your whole miniature black.
Right.
And then you would take like a spray can of white, and I hold the miniature here, and I use the spray can, and I pretend this is my light source.
Okay.
And I spray it, and it makes it so it looks like it's being hit with light as your white.
Good tip. That's cool.
Yeah.
Not in an enclosed space, though. We've talked about that.
No,
before.
outside.
Yeah.
And
So
usually-
just like one kind of spray, like I'm the sun, and you see where everything goes.
Yeah, and you want to be careful. Like I'll start over here to know how much white is coming out of the can, so you don't make it all white.
Right.
So you just want a little bit.
And that then you paint to where it primed to show that's
it
kind
sort
of
of helps you, right?
see where the light source is.
It sort of helps you. You can take a picture.
see that. Cool idea.
Yeah, because you're gonna paint over it, but
That's a cool tip,
take
though.
a
I like
picture,
that. Yeah. Okay.
And then you can remember. So
Zenithal
priming.
Zenithal priming. It sounds like a galactic overlord. I'm Zenithal Prime. Sorry. Optimus's cousin. Anyway, so we take the third color, which we just made, and
it's
now
a lighter color.
I'm going to watch where you do it and
Yep.
then copy you exactly.
So you're going to want to try to concentrate your highlights more towards the top of his head here, and on his eye, and on the crown. And then same thing with his toes here, and then go in a smaller area right here, because this is going to catch some of the highlight. And then on his tail as well, you're going to want to try to concentrate up towards the top.
Where the sun would hit.
Where the sun would hit, right? And remember, it's going to go on and it's going to look really bright, but you want to paint in sort of a smaller area here. So you can see I'm not painting the whole thing. I'm not going all the way down to the bottom of the miniature. And on top of his head too. And again, the paint doesn't have to be completely, it doesn't have to look smooth because it's lizard skin. So I got on his nose, on his head here. And just a thin layer. But I don't think you can mess it up.
Sure.
In fact, I'm almost kind of, the way I'm doing it, I'm almost kind of modeling it. So the way I'm using my brush here is I'm kind of throwing it on there, and you can see how it's almost like puddled in areas.
Yeah,
you can do that
looking
too.
For.
Yeah.
I need to make more paint. Once we hit the spots.
Yeah.
Again, is this now? Am I ready to move on to next level?
Yeah. So you're ready to move up to that last color green here.
Which is just the straight green, which
Yeah.
I'm going to need a little more of because I combine it with my other green.
But again, in a smaller area. Don't forget.
So what are we doing now?
So what we're going to do is we're going to just a little bit here at the top. So this is almost like our brightest highlight.
And we're not bringing it down nearly as low as we did last time.
Don't bring it down nearly as low, and it's in a very small area. And then we'll come in, because I'm kind of almost making it so he's modeled with this color because it's so bright. So you can almost get ahead and start to make him look like he has scaly skin.
So you're kind of, with the brush, almost making little strokes.
Yeah.
While we are waiting for our next layer to dry, I think it's a good time for mini show and tell. So we've got 3 new ones here.
Yes, we do.
And these are all 3 you've done, obviously. And walk us through them.
Okay, so you can see that there's actually, this is a great display of different sizes of miniatures and different types of miniatures.
Okay.
So this one is from Privateer Press. It's the Scar Bust. So it's a bust of a miniature. So we have that one. And
how long did this take you?
That one took me a week.
This took
that
you
was
a
a
week.
week. I just continuous, I was just
And again, no airbrushing.
Nope, no airbrushing. I was a mad person.
This took you a week,
Yep.
and I'm going to move this because I'm going to drop it right into the green paint.
It's okay. It's won all of its awards.
And I was just going to ask, how many awards has this one won?
So that one's won quite a few. I've taken that to several different competitions. The big one I got for that was Best in Show down in San Diego at Kingdom Con.
Wow.
So yeah.
That's, I mean, it's incredible. You can see the detail on the face, like our lipstick and the eyes, and very, very amazing. Okay, so we're gonna move on to this guy.
A tiny one. So this one is Kingdom Death, and these are super special to me because I was asked by Kingdom Death to paint for them. So at the time, right now, there aren't any that are produced.
Any of this sculpture?
Any of this, yeah, there will be because it's for a Kickstarter, but this one is a 3D print. So I got to paint the studio miniatures for them.
Wow, that must
Yeah.
have been very cool. Was that kind of like a dream come true kind of job?
Yeah.
That's really
Most
cool.
definitely.
Now, do we know the name of this guy? 'Cause if not,
That's
I'm gonna name him.
that's
and
the
you're not gonna
father
like it.
and son miniature. And that's the object source lighting I was talking about, where I paint in the light source.
So he's got the light, one hanging from his backpack.
Yes.
And then one on the ground.
Yes.
But that's still casting light.
So you have to kind of fake the light because it's not really lit, right? So you have to pretend that this is illuminating the figure and paint the light in.
And so obviously all the light sources have to come from one direction,
Mm-hmm.
unless, of course, you are from a different planet, which is the excuse I would use, and there's more than one light source. That's all good. And now we go to, this is amazing.
The big piece. So it's 28 millimeter. This is 75 millimeter.
Okay.
So this is a Black Sun miniature Savage Beauty. She was just a for fun piece.
Really? So this, you haven't taken this out to any?
I have. I took her to a convention and I got gold with her at a convention, so that was pretty fun.
So this one took about how long?
So this was about a week as well.
It took a week, of course.
So, this is my job, so I have to sit and work, and then after I'm done working, this is what I do.
Well, that's the other question is, a week for you is a week, but 7 or 8 hours a day of painting.
Sometimes more for
Yeah,
competition,
so it's
right?
a week, but it's...
So it's 60 plus hours.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So it might take place in a week, but a week of painting for me is I painted an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It took all week.
So it's every day.
Yeah. Especially when you're doing something specifically for like a game or something you're doing. Do they give you any parameters whatsoever? Stick with these color schemes. This is what we want the shield to look like. Or is it just do what you got to do?
Well, so for those commissions, they didn't have art done for them yet. So they told me I had free reign, but I had to keep it in the style of their board game of Kingdom Death.
That makes sense.
So a lot of times, though, when I'm working for studios and for board game companies, I do receive art that I have to match the colors.
Sure.
So there's a little bit of that, too, that actually makes it harder is because you have to match up the colors.
Well, sure. If somebody sends you a Superman, you're not going to go, make it orange.
Right, exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay, very cool. All right, so we are back. Our last layer has dried, and we're moving on from there. Now, do we go right to stippling or sweet?
Yes.
What do we do?
Now what we're going to do is, we've painted the highlights on, but we want to make it look like there's scales. So we want to take the tip of our brush and just make little dots in the shadows. Not all over the place though. Don't go super crazy.
The line between tiny little stippling and wow, what did you just do is so small. And you just want to dot around? I mean, does it matter where you put them?
No, it doesn't really matter where you put them. Well, it does. Don't put it on his shirt, right? But put it in the shadow.
I like how you're like, it doesn't matter at all. Well, it does.
A little bit. This is kind of the fun part because there's no rhyme or reason to it.
Oh, this is the fun part?
This is the fun part.
I've been waiting to get to this.
You mean you weren't having fun?
I'm having a blast. Are you kidding? It's the way that like Jeopardy's a blast, where it's fun but stressful.
Right, I understand.
So is that it?
Well, we're going to work our way up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're going to, how we did with the thin layers of paint, we're going to do the same thing with the spots.
Okay.
So we're going to jump to another color, which is the Saffron Sunset here, and we're going to concentrate in a smaller and smaller area, again, to get the volume. You're going to want to take the yellow and do the exact same thing you did with the green, but you're going to want to kind of focus up towards...
towards the nose?
Yeah, towards the nose and the top of his head here and the top of the crown. And it also, the yellow, I chose the yellow because the yellow breaks up all the green tones we've used, and it really makes that color pop. Which I love that in the miniatures, and especially in these, because they're cartoons, right?
Right.
So cartoons are naturally, they're bright, they're fun, they're happy.
So we yellowing down the tail
yes,
too?
And you know what I did? I did a little bit, I went back in and I took a little bit of my green, how you did with the darker green. So I took my lighter green here, the necrotite green, and I actually painted over a little bit
of the yellow
to kind of tone down that yellow. And then you can go back in and you can add in more yellow dots. So it's just a process of more dots, less dots.
Oh, so you've got so you're not just doing specks, you've got lines and...
Yeah, I'm just kind of mixing it up and throwing colors back in where I feel like I went too much with the green, so I'll throw in some more. It's a give and take. Don't be afraid to go back in and add a darker color if you've, gone too far with your highlight.
All right, so am I done with my yellow?
I would do a little bit more up here.
Up there, okay.
Yep.
As dots or more as
More, yeah, dots, but try to concentrate the dots. If that makes sense. So make more of a color. You could paint a little yellow up there too. But.
All right, so I think I'm done with the yellow. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do too much more, so where do we go from there?
So we're gonna work up to this golden highlight here, so you can see that it's brighter. It's almost between the yellow, the white, and then the pure white.
Okay.
So that's how we're working our way up to our highlight.
Pure white is how I'm gonna ruin everything I've done.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a little bit of this on our palette. We're going to concentrate in even smaller areas. So again, here, you're gonna hit it right there on the back of his head, but up here, just here, I think, on the crown.
You start.
I start? Okay.
Yeah, you start.
Are you sure?
You're barely touching it.
Yep.
Barely.
So just barely anything. And you can see how bright it is, just to get those highlights. Kind of did under his eye. If you want to attempt that, you can.
You did under the eye?
I did just a little bit under the eye to get that.
And are you doing white stippling kind of on the...
I did on the tail as well, yeah. And then I just kind of very gently almost dry brush the two little toes.
And then you did a kind of a...
Just the dry brush, just on the toes. Just on the very tops of the toes.
How's that?
All right.
I'm getting into the heavier detail stuff. It's a little crazier.
So a little bit, since you messed up right there, I'd go back and fix that.
Yep.
But it looks good. And then I would actually take a little bit of the green and take a little bit of the
dark green or the middle
sorry,
green?
the lime green color, the necrotite green.
The middle one.
Yeah, and I would kind of put that in there. Oh, and then touch some of the color right there too as well on the top of his head.
So here, you do a little here.
Do you have your darker green?
Yeah, the darker.
There. Okay, yeah.
The darker or this one?
It doesn't matter either one because you're just doing a thin layer. So it's still, the white is still going to show through. It's just not going to be as intense.
Like that. How's that? Is that a little better?
Let me look. Yeah, so see how it took it down and it almost, it blends in your colors.
Yeah.
So it's blending in your colors and it's making that not such a harsh transition.
It's also looking kind of cool, like reptile skin.
Yeah.
Hit it there a little bit.
Hit it there a little bit too.
Or it's a little white.
With this last highlight, again, like with the loot, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do really small, a couple of really small areas. So just barely, just like 3 or 4 dots. See on his eye?
3 or 4 dots.
Just 3 or 4 dots, just barely.
So nerve-wracking. How can you do this for a living?
I have a lot of patience.
I have patience too, but it's still horrible. So nerve-wracking.
So yeah, in each spot that I'm choosing to place these bright white highlights, I'm only doing 3 or 4 dots at the most. Yeah, there you go. And I would just maybe grab his, I've got a little bit left. Just grab a little bit.
You just broke it. You ruined it.
I know. It's terrible now. And you know what? I would hit, so this really is standing out here.
Yeah.
I would take your green and just
The light green or dark green? The light green? There's
Because you
47
got a
different
light
colors of green on there.
A little bit of light green right here too, under his eye. So it's
Under
not
both eyes?
Under both eyes, yeah. Did you get it on this side too?
I think so.
Right there.
Yes.
That's all you need. It's the devil's in the details. So.
So that's that. We're good then. Wow. All right. Well, I need a grade. You got to give me a grade. You can either give me an A or an A+. It's up to you. But
Oh.
you're gonna have to check to tell me what you think. You don't have to give me that. But how is it okay?
Yeah, it's good. He looks awesome. You could take him and you could play with him on the table now. with the
Okay,
board
that's
game.
good. That's good.
Yep.
Let me look at yours. Yeah, that's nice. So, I'm kidding. Look at it. It's perfect. Everything's blended. We obviously use different types of wood to make our loot.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, they look great. Well, that one does. This one, so it's okay.
No, it's good.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I feel like we're on that date. And you're like, no, he was nice. That's great. Well, do you think I've earned a stripe? Is the question. So I don't know what you have to know is I'm ranking up
Right.
or down if necessary. And do you think I've earned another rank?
I think so.
Yeah, have I?
Yes. This is a strange rite of passage.
Oh, well, that's it. We're good to go.
Yeah.
We have finished up with John the Bard.
We have.
From Wander, which is coming out hopefully in about a year, but you can get the minis now if you want to paint along with everything that we've done. We had a little bit of help from Elizabeth, who started and did the jacket and everything for us, but we learned about stippling, we learned about layering, we learned about some light source stuff, which is very cool. And yeah, we learned that you're a phenomenal teacher and a wonderful painter. So
Oh, thank you so much.
thank you so much for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Elizabeth Beckley, winner of everything under the sun. Fabulous teacher, and we're good to go. And thank you so much for being here. Join us again as we continue this journey trying to make me into a less crappy artist, which is slow but going.
You're doing a fantastic job.
Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much.
Yeah.
And just remember that every great masterpiece started with a single brushstroke.
Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.